A steady coin has been setting new records, which we have been observing. We recently reached more than 280 billion USD for the whole stablecoin market, and during the past 30 days, this has increased by almost 6%. Although transfer volume and similar metrics have somewhat decreased, holders are still gaining ground. It's incredible to see that we're almost at 200 million stablecoin holders. Given that the market has been declining this quarter, the transfer volume is to be expected. Well, the third quarter. Even if we look back in time, we can see that stablecoins were going crazy as the summer of 2024 approached. Just so you all can see this as soon as possible, I'll actually post this on the monthly. Stablecoins were therefore going crazy as May approached. After that, they kind of trailed off as the market kind of basically declined. At the end of the year, it was all that thrilling. After that, we basically started going crazy in November and December, with December seeing the highest monthly transfer volume of about $4 trillion. Even though the market has been volatile lately, stable currencies are still making outrageous claims each month. For instance, $3.5 trillion in August, which wasn't particularly exciting, is outrageous. Even in September, September is almost over. Crypto has had a difficult month, with nearly $3 trillion still in circulation. Therefore, stablecoins $10 billion still in circulation. Therefore, stablecoins continue to enjoy insanely high usage. And you're referring to the holders? This is what I mean when I say that some random use cases are aiming for mass adoption. Stable currency. In this case, stable currencies are emerging as the major actor, and I do believe that they will continue to play a significant role in facilitating widespread adoption. A significant number of users will be onboarded just through consistent coin payments and use cases. Additionally, when you consider the major banks and other institutions snatching up stablecoins, you can see how states and large corporations are beginning to do the same. And I mean, this will only further speed up the acceptance of simple coinage. As a result, even though we are concentrating on this, we are nonetheless aware that stablecoins like ROUSD do exist. They are also They are also growing into enormous components of the room. By the way, the monthly transfer volume on ROUSD increased by $20, or about 4% to $4.2 billion. In past 30 days, the overall value has increased by 12.4%, or nearly 12.5%. ROUSD is beginning to gain a lot of traction, Even though it's really early, we're beginning to witness a significant movement around RLUSD. It's a very recent launch. It is therefore really exciting to witness this level of growth and adoption. Since I'm not sure which market cap is more current, the coin market cap or not, I want to return to this one. Technically, we have more than $300 billion in stable currency. That's crazy. Additionally, RLUSD is rapidly rising in this list. Yes, I do believe that we need to start expanding significantly for ROUSD if we truly want to aim for that top 5. Given all of the recent pronouncements surrounding ROUSD, I do have a suspicion that will occur. For instance, we recently partnered with Chipper Cash, Valor, and Yellowcard to increase ROUSD's availability to African institutions. It took place on September 4th, in addition to the announcement made with SBI at the end of August, correct? Since ROUSD stablecoins will be distributed in Japan in the first quarter of 2026, there will be a significant push for ROUSD in that country. And SBI VC Trade is the source of all of this. Once more, SBI has always been a big supporter of Ripple. They were also among the first investors in Ripple. Thus, they wholeheartedly endorse Ripple's actions, based only on these two announcements. Is that correct? In addition to adding up to a significant amount of volume and value linked to ROUSD, we have 2 significant scheduled distributions for ROUSD in strategic global locations. Not to mention the actions of major institutional players, like as HSBC, who very recently on the 23rd rolled out cross-border tokenized deposits, beginning with Ant International. We do know, however, that Chris Larsson, the same Chris Larsson from Ripple, was a member of the HSBC Board of Directors. Does that prove anything now? Not precisely. However, we do know that HSBC planned to introduce a tokenized security storage service in 2023 as more major banks get interested in blockchain. What intriguing about this is that HSBC has already worked with Medico. In order to keep bonds and other securities, HSBC uses technology from Swiss crypto custody for Medico that was recently purchased by blockchain firm Ripple. Okay, you know what? Since Medico is now completely branded to Ripple Custody, this indicates that they are using it. In light of this, the recent announcement by HSBC to roll out cross-border tokenized deposits makes sense. In the same manner that big banks like DZ Bank and Deca Bank announced significant intentions for cryptocurrency custody services employing Ripple Custody this year, I would contend that Ripple most likely had a hand in this. They are using Ripple to help them achieve their goal of offering their clients services. I bring this up because, once more, institutional acceptance of ROUSD and Ripple is a huge game shift. Ripple recently released two significant improvements, one of which involved Securitize and was also centered on ROUSD. To increase access and usefulness to the XRP ecosystem, it is also predicated on chain yield and other DeFi capabilities that will be integrated onto the XRP ledger. They're integrated onto the XRP ledger. There is a direct demand for XRP and the XRPL from institutional participants. However, we also saw this update, so it didn't end there. By the way, September is when most of this occurs. We are collaborating with DBS Bank and FTI Global to create repo markets that are fueled by stablecoins and tokenized collateral, introducing the next fundament. Coins and tokenized collateral, introducing the next fundamental component of on-chain markets. In order to earn interest and offer up new liquidity venues, investors will be able to trade for Franklin Templeton's money market fund, SG Benji tokenized. Franklin Templeton's money market fund, SG Benji tokenized on the XRP ledger and list on DBS's digital exchange using RARUSD. On the chain, institutional momentum is growing. This comes directly from Ripple. I'm bringing this up now since my good friend Avery wrote a fantastic post about the major push surrounding ROUSD. Thus, RARUSD push surrounding ROUSD. Thus, RARUSD is altering every aspect of the XRP ledger. And I concur with this assertion since, once more, institutional adoption and DeFi on the XRP ledger are the main goals of Ripple. This is made possible with RARUSD. Wasarda has become the catalyst for institutional acceptance as Ripple's solution to stablecoin independence. Here are some ways that the XRP, Ledger, and RLUSD are revolutionizing international finance. Since its introduction in late 2016, RLUSD's market capitalization has grown to $789 million, 90th place in terms of coin market capitalization. At 0.01% variance, the USD peg remains steadfast. Stability appeals to institutions, and RLUSD provides it. Within hours after Bybit listing ROUSD for spot trading, the amount of additional P-open interest skyrocketed to $1 billion. New on-ramp skyrocketed to $1 billion. New on-ramps are allowing billions of dollars in incoming retail institutional money to enter the ecosystem. Additionally, Ripple and Securities have teamed up to make RUSD the redemption mechanism for both VanEck Bill tokenized funds and BlackRock's construct. Tokenized assets might. Funds and BlackRock's construct. Tokenized assets might be worth trillions. For banks who use Ripple software for internal transactions, ROUSD is a great option thanks to ROUSD Rails. Nothing else thanks to ROUSD Rails. Nothing else can demonstrate ROUSD's dependability as well as this. Because of the XRP ledger's lightning-fast speed, cheap fees, and extremely liquid USD stablecoin, developers can now deploy Ethereum apps on the new EVM sidechain. The ecosystem is growing at an amazing rate, and builders are rapidly drawn to this hybrid system. ETFs for XRP. Drawn to this hybrid system, ETFs for XRP are expected to grow significantly. Before the year ends, institutional capital is flooding into both leveraged and spot ETFs. For simpler on and off ramps, Hidden Road, a component of the Ripple ecosystem, will combine XRP and ROUSD by offering a native stablecoin for direct USD transactions. ROUSD increases on-demand liquidity. Under some circumstances, ROUSD